from a monastery. This happened about a century ago, somewhere in Europe. So there was this monastery and there were monks. They had their daily rituals, their prayers, their duties, and so on. Occasionally, visitors from nearby villages would come to visit and to see how does a monk's life look like. Days passed by and weeks passed by. One day, one of the younger monks says, "Hey, are you not a little bored of this routine? Should we all go out for a picnic somewhere one day?" And all the other monks say, "Oh, that's a great idea. Sure, of course, we are on the spiritual path, but we, of course, have the right to enjoy ourselves once in a while." So they choose a day which is slim on the visitors' traffic. They pack their picnic baskets with sandwiches and cheese and lemonade, and off they go. They walk for a mile or so and reach the forest, which they used to see every day from the monastery's windows. They enter the forest and they are excited at the exquisite beauty of the forest, of the trees, of the water that is flowing by. They take their time admiring the beauty, roaming around in the forest, and then they are exhausted. They find a clearing, lay their mats, open their baskets, have lunch, take rest for some time, and then they say, "Okay, it's time to go back. It will be dark otherwise." So they start and they say, "Okay, it is so easy, right? I mean, just retrace the steps back and we will be out of the forest in no time." However, as they start finding their way back, they realize that actually all trees look the same and all waterfalls look the same, and their footsteps were now mingled with the footsteps of other animals walking about in the forest. They get confused and they start wandering around searching for the way out of the forest. As they are doing so, one of the monks finds a human figure sitting in a meditative pose under a tree. And they say, "Oh, there's a human being there. Let's just ask this person." They go closer to that person, and to their surprise, that person is Brother Tom, who had left the monastery a few years ago on the spiritual quest. Their voices wake Brother Tom from the spiritual meditation. He opens his eyes and is very happy to see his old folks. The monks say, "Hey, Brother Tom, we thought you've been gone so long. You have gone probably far away. When did you come back? And you've been here in the forest for how long?" And Tom, kind of smiles and says, "Hey, I never went outside of this forest. I started on the path and I thought, let me just explore this forest a little bit. And what happened was I've been here in this forest all along." So they're excited and they say, "Oh, if you've been here all along, then guide us. Guide us on the path that will take us outside the forest." Brother Tom smiles and he says, "Folks, if I knew how to get out of this forest, I would have gotten out myself and come back to the monastery. So now that I have met you, let's all together search for the paths to go out of this woods." My friends, this is a charming story. But why this story and why today? Today, all of us are passing through extraordinary times. And whatever may be the seniority you may have as a leader in the organization, you can never say, "Been there, done that." Because none of us, honestly, has ever been through the situation that we are in today. So, humility of acceptance, humility of saying to your team members, "Hey, let's figure out the path out of this forest together. If we are rowing a boat, we are all fellow oarsmen. If we are walking the path, we are all fellow journeymen. Let's all do it together." I think humility is not an overrated virtue, but it is the most important competency for leaders of today.